This is Morten from English TV. Drupa, third day. A little bit hectic, I would say. We have so much work today. But one of the things I've been looking particularly forward to is to meeting Sarah. I only met her online before because during the pandemic, we did, I think it was quite funny things we did together actually. So Sarah, good to see you.
Lovely to meet you in person.
Likewise. And Sarah, when we met online a couple of years ago, you worked for a different company. So we have to talk about your new company, right?
Yeah. So before I was at Route 1 and now I'm part of Solopress. So 3.5 weeks in and I'm here at Drupa for the first time. So that's really exciting.
Only 3.5 weeks?
3.5 weeks,
Okay, so I cannot ask you any details, right?
You could give it a go. It's been a very intense 3.5 weeks.
Let's talk a little bit about, because Solopress is like part of the German online printers, and I mean, you're a big online printer, but what you told me just before was also that it seemed that you're still very focused on customers and being agile, delivering. And so tell me a little bit about, because your role is very customer orientated, right?
Yeah, so I've been brought on as the Sales and Customer Success Director. So I'm very client facing, but also I've got quite a large team now of people, which is interesting. I think what's really refreshing is the fact that Solo are so customer centric. So we're talking a lot to the client about what they need and how we can help them. And then everything is sort of done in-house. So, you wander across and you go and have a speak to somebody in the technology department and I'll say, this would be quite interesting. Have you ever thought about doing something like that? And they'll go, yeah, cool. Do you want to come back in an hour and we'll talk about it? And then, by the end of the day, you've got that rolled out and the client's over the moon.
I've also, talked to your boss, Simon Cooper, several times, and it also seems like a company that is, one thing is being customer-centric, but it's also like basically delivering on very, very fast turnaround times when you need to, right? I guess that's why you need to have almost everything under one roof, right?
Yeah, and I think the on-time delivery is crucial, that everyone's so passionate about it. And the delivery rates are second to none, I would say. But the amount of stuff that we're getting through the door and the site itself is very, very different in its setup. So there's 4 sites and lots of different spaces, but everything's so agile and so well thought out as to where it is. We can get an alarming amount of jobs out, I would say.
Yeah, that can always be like surprising, especially when you change, because I guess that the workflow and everything around the process of customers can be different from the former job, right?
There's some similarities, but
of course,
lots of systems that are different and getting your head around different terminology for similar things. But it's been great.
I was, one of the things that is kind of interesting, because the first time I spoke to Simon, it was basically in a situation where the offset presses were just about to be replaced with more and more digital. Yeah. And you told me just before that you just signed on for 120K from HP, and we're going to see that, not the 120 in particular, but some software around it. Yeah. I was just wondering, you come from a company where you have been so focused on, let's say, foils and varnishes and like the most beautiful things you can ever create, and now you come into an online printer. Do you still have that, let's say, ability to create something that is really beautiful still?
Yeah, because I think it's about finding the right solution for the client, isn't it, ultimately? And where I was before at Kingsbury, we did some very, very beautiful things, but the client was after something quite small run, quite bespoke, and they were happy then. The idea was to give them something that they were really happy with. That's the same principle over at Solopress. We're just not looking at, fine art books. We're looking at a solution for, how they get the product the next day or how they can serve all their franchises and just trying to find a nice solution.
So, so you can say that the fact that you want to serve customers, it is just because it's different types of customers. They, of course, have different needs, but it doesn't, let's say, makes it easier, basically. It's just different challenge, right?
Yeah. Exactly. The principle's the same.
Yeah. So, this is not your first Drupa, right?
Yes.
Oh, it is your first Drupa.
Yeah. So I should have come in 2020, but obviously COVID put a stop to that. And when the guys asked me if I'd like to fly out this time, I don't think they'd even finished the sentence before I'd said, yep, I'd love to. Yeah.
So is it overwhelming for you to be here?
I'm feeling quite like a child in the sweet shop at the moment. So it's great.
Are you not here alone, right?
No, there's 4 of us that have come out.
When you come to a show like this, I know that you're new in your role, but is it both to get inspiration for other equipment, or are you actually planning specific purchases here? Or
so it's trying to fact find and really get an understanding of what's going on, but also just try and find out, what other people are doing and what's out there. Because a lot of my role speaking to clients, it's not just what Solo are doing, but why we're doing what we're doing. And we've explored X, Y, and Z option at Drupa, and we've heard about this. And people come to speak to you and they want to know that you are up to date with what's going on in the industry at the moment. So even from a software side, we spent a little bit of time there this morning going around some of the stands and trying to understand not just things that we are looking to invest in or looking to change, but we're open to, we think we do this really well, but, show us how we can do it better.
I can't help think about when you are working on, let's say, customer success. If maybe I challenge you a little bit on this one, but I was just thinking that if you look at online print when it came, many years back, right? I think that a lot of the intention with online print was like you order online, there's no people involved in the processes. Basically, if you deliver shit, you get shit, right? Yeah. But I think that today the online printers they have the very cheap services where you serve yourself, but more and more online printers are also offering, let's say, customer service and helping customers. Is that how you see the change generically speaking, or?
Yeah, so Solopress have got something quite interesting set up. So as you go through sort of like a spend level, your customer service level sort of increases. So you go up to Solopress as an account manager, but then you've got the Solo Pro team who are typically dealing with the resellers, but there are some quite large end users that are ordering through those as well. And that is very much a client-led experience, I would say. So if they want to order online, they can order online. If they like us to put a third-party software together for them to order from, that's fine. If they want to send in by email or by phone, it's very much led by what they would like to do and how we best serve them.
And last question before we transform to the next stage. Okay. And that is like you're part of an international group with entities both in the Nordic countries, in Germany and in the UK. Yep. Do you have any collaboration with your peers in the other countries?
I mean, I think that will be coming. Like I say, I'm 3.5 weeks in at the moment, so it's early days, but we're even, Simon feels very passionately about us working as a group together, and we are having German lessons, so...
But you can see that I'm trying to get you to visit Denmark. That's why I'm asking, of course, right?
Of course, yeah.
Well, that's great. Should we, what are we going to see now?
I think we should go to the HP stand.
And we're going to see something that you have a particular interest in?
Yeah, so as you mentioned earlier, we've made the investment in the 120K, but I was speaking to the team yesterday about the things that they're doing around AI, which I found particularly interesting. So
let's go there. So let's just are you ready to transform? Suddenly we are at the HP booth,
like
right?
magic.
And is this actually your new acquisition?
Yeah, so this is the 120 that we've just bought.
But is it that machine?
No, it's not. It's in the demo centre just behind.
Okay.
But...
I mean, one thing is the machine, and you're already an Indigo customer, so that is old news, right? Yeah. But what the reason why you brought us here was because you're a little bit interested in some of the AI features that are now becoming available in the 120K, right?
Yeah, so it's the AI that's available on the press that we bought. So there's the AAA, which is, I think, available on some of the other Indigo products at the moment. But then there's the PQ Maestro, which is an additional extra. And essentially what it allows the operator to do is to not have to look and spot any defects. So the press scans a sheet of paper every 0.3 seconds and will detect any difference between the printed sheet and the PDF. So if there's a blemish or some sort of mark, the press will then eject that and then 2 more sheets. The operator might not be aware that this is happening, they might not even be stood next to the machine, and it will then reprint the sheet again.
So you're basically, if you print a lot of sets, you're guaranteed that the sets you get out is right. Yeah. I mean, when you're responsible for customer satisfaction and service, it must be nice to have equipment that can help you basically ensure that customers always get the best quality, right?
Yeah, so it's music to my ears because it's enabling us to help the client and do that in the best possible way because, the speed that these presses run, it's very difficult for the operator to take a view of every single sheet. So being able to spot that at the printing process, eject it, and then, like you say, reprint in the collated set with no disruption to anybody else is really fantastic. I
mean, one of the things I can't help think about, because a company like Solopress, you have so many different types of technologies, right? How do you, I guess that you have a lot of, let's say, quality control kind of assets inside the company, but it must sometimes be a little bit difficult because you have inkjet, you have offset, you have toner, you have electrotone. I mean, you have so many technologies. What is the procedure in order to make sure that you have, let's say, an equal quality on your productions?
So what I would say is everybody in Solopress is very, very passionate. So like I say, I've only been there for a few weeks, but everybody that I've spoken to is very passionate about putting out a really good product. They're also very knowledgeable, so a lot of our printers are very experienced. And there's a lot of training that goes on all the time, but essentially look at the job, don't pass it on if it's not to the right quality, and don't accept it if it's not to the correct quality.
And I know it's still like a new job for you, but you think that the experience you have from the first 3.5 weeks with Solopress gives you that confidence, and that let's say the people and the mindset of Solopress is the guarantee for our customers? Or
yes, and my industry experience is obviously quite extensive in terms of time, and from the other people that I know that we've spoken to, I think the quality and the on-time service metrics are industry leading. It's great, yeah.
Fantastic. Well, I know you're busy and there's a lot of things to see yet. How many days are you here for?
Just today, and then I'm flying back, so I've been here since Tuesday.
And you think you have seen everything so far?
No,
okay.
no. I think we probably need to come back again.
Okay, fantastic. Good to see you.
Lovely
Thank
to
you very
see you.
much.
Thanks.
Okay.